Funding for the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, Iowa Farm Bureau Girls State Volleyball Championships is provided by...
The path to greatness starts early. The Iowa Farm Bureau believes in Iowa's youth and their pursuit of greatness. That's why we're proud to be the title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Each student's effort is important, and when one rises, we all rise to a better Iowa.
Fairway, along with Nabisco, TruMoo, Frito-Lay, and Sara Lee, is a proud sponsor of the 2016 Iowa Girls High School Sports Championships. We congratulate all the schools and student athletes participating in this year's Girls High School State Volleyball Championships. Fairway, proud to care for the places we work and live.
By Musco Lighting, the sports lighting specialist, providing lighting systems for you, your project, and your community.
Mid-American Energy and their Energy Advantage programs are dedicated to increasing the awareness of energy efficiency in Iowa's homes and businesses. Information is at midamericanenergy.com. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Welcome back to downtown Cedar Rapids and the U.S. Cellular Center, where today it's Championship Friday. We move to Class 3A here as we look for an outstanding matchup between, yet again, number 1 versus number 2. This time it's the Union Knights against Dike-New Hartford, who moved up a class from last season's state championship. Eric Braley, Barb Randall back here, and these two teams very familiar with each other. How will that maybe play into the outcome of this?
Well, I think there are no secrets, so I don't think it will help either one anyway, but they did play earlier in the season, and the win went to Union, so there might be a touch of revenge on the Dike-New Hartford side.
Let's take a look at Dike-New Hartford, as they have had an outstanding run as of late. It's their 10th straight state tournament appearance, 27th overall. Again, I mentioned they moved up a class after winning the state title last year. And two main players are twins, the daughters of UNI head volleyball coach Bobby Peterson, and they both bring a little something to this team.
They do. Bailey is one of the main offensive players, and Sydney is all over that floor on defense. It will be fun to watch them.
Union, number 1 overall, 6th trip to the state in the last 7 years, and this is a very experienced, lot of seniors on this squad.
Their seniors should lead them. They're all main players. They know what it takes. They've been here a lot. They've beaten Dike-New Hartford already once this year, so it should be really exciting to see what happens.
Getting fired up and ready to go for this Class 3A final. Ankeny Centennial is your 5A champion, Dubuque Waller 4A. But before we get this 3A matchup underway, a very special Hall of Fame presentation.
Has honored the state's greatest prep volleyball players with induction into the Iowa High School Volleyball Hall of Fame. Today we celebrate the 19th class of inductees. Presenting Hall of Fame awards, representing the Iowa Farm Bureau, is John Sandbothy. Our first inductee today is Hannah Wilms of Dike-New Hartford. Hannah started for the Wolverines from 2007 to 2010. She led Dike-New Hartford to 3 state tournament appearances and twice was named to the Class 2A All-Tournament team. Hannah was a 3-time Elite All-State selection and was named the Class 2A Player of the Year twice. As a senior, she averaged 5 kills and 2.7 digs a set. Hannah signed with Iowa State, and after redshirting as a freshman, she averaged over 2 kills a set as the Cyclones reached the Elite 8 in the NCAA tournament. A record-setting track and field athlete in high school, Hannah retired from volleyball to concentrate on track and field for the Cyclones. She remains the Iowa State record holder in the high jump and the 400 meters. Hannah was inducted into the Track and Field Hall of Fame in 2014, and today becomes the first person to be inducted into both the Track and Field and Volleyball Hall of Fames. Hannah is unable to be present today as she's in Arizona working on her doctorate in physical therapy, but we're happy to report that she's watching the live stream right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome one of Iowa's most versatile athletes into the Volleyball Hall of Fame. From Dike-New Hartford, Hannah Wilms. Accepting today on Hannah's behalf are her parents, Scott and Susan Wilms. Today's second inductee is Haley Eckerman from Waterloo East. Haley is one of Iowa's most decorated volleyball players. The 2011 Waterloo East graduate earned elite all-state honors all 4 years of high school volleyball. She finished with 2,494 kills and led the state in kills all 4 seasons. Haley was named Iowa Player of the Year twice. Highly recruited, she signed with the University of Texas and enjoyed outstanding success. After being named the National Freshman of the Year in 2011, Haley was named the National Player of the Year her sophomore and junior seasons. As a sophomore, she led the Longhorns to the national championship, recording 12 kills in the championship match. Earning first-team All-American for the 4th time in 2014, Haley finished her Texas career ranked 5th in school history with 1,662 kills. Haley's unable to be here because she's playing professional volleyball in Monza, Italy, where it's 9:30 in the evening right now. However, we understand that she's also watching the presentation live on her computer from Italy. Let's give her a nice Iowa welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hall of Fame. From Waterloo East, Haley Eckerman. Accepting Haley's award today is her son Caden and mother Julia. Congratulations. Today's final inductee is Shelby Kinsel from Mount Vernon. Shelby started at Mount Vernon from 2005 to 2008. She led the Mustangs to a pair of state tournament appearances and was twice named Elite All-State. As a senior, Shelby was the Class 3A Player of the Year, averaging 2.9 kills and leading her team to a runner-up finish in Class 3A. In the championship match, she had 17 kills with 3 blocks, 4 digs, and 5 service aces, earning a spot on the all-tournament team. Shelby signed with Northern Iowa and made an impact for the Panthers immediately. She was named to the Missouri Valley Conference All-Freshman team and helped Northern Iowa reach 3 NCAA tournaments. As a senior, Shelby was named first-team All-Conference and first-team All-Midwest region, averaging 2.7 kills with 113 blocks. She also excelled in the classroom. 4-time first-team academic All-Conference selection. As a senior, she was just one of 6 players nationwide selected to the 2013 Capital One Volleyball Academic All-American First Team. After playing professionally overseas for 1 season, she returned to Iowa and is now a 4th grade teacher at Terrace Elementary in Ankeny. She's also an assistant coach on the state qualifying Ankeny volleyball team. Welcome to the Hall of Fame from Mount Vernon, Shelby Kinsel. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a nice hand to the Volleyball Hall of Fame inductees for 2016. From Dike-New Hartford, Hannah Wilms. From Waterloo East, Haley Eckerman. And from Mount Vernon, Shelby Kinsel. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the members, the newest members of the prestigious Iowa Volleyball Girls Athletic Association Hall of Fame. Hannah Wilms of Dike-New Hartford, Haley Eckerman of Waterloo East, and Shelby Kinsel of Mount Vernon. Those 3 student athletes did so much at the high school level and the college level. Let's now meet the 3A teams, Dike-New Hartford and Union.
Now let's meet your championship teams. The home team, the Knights from Union.
Union Knights, an incredible year coming into this match. Number 1, they are the NICL Conference champions. We'll talk a lot about that outstanding conference throughout.
And the visiting team, the Wolverines from Dike-New Hartford.
2A power in recent years. They've been dominant there, moving up a class here in Class 3A. Dike-New Hartford, when you think of Dike-New Hartford, you think of volleyball and successful volleyball programs.
Now let's meet the non-starters for the Wolverines. Number 5, Jill Alderts. Number 6, Morgan Marks. Number 9, Emily Purdy. Number 10, Allie Aldrich. Number 12, Sydney Loggy. Number 15, Courtney Bullhouse. Number 17, Emma Eden. The assistant coaches are Lawrence Harms and Lacey McDonough. Now your starters for the Wolverines. Number 2, Madison Hedges. Number 4, Haley Durnan. Number 13, Carly Dove. Number 14, Madison Levens. Number 16, Amber Rickert. And number 21, Bailey Peterson. The libero is number 8, Sydney Peterson. And the head coach of the Wolverines is Diane Harms. Now let's meet the non-starters for the Union Knights. Number 6, Hannah Gates. Number 8, Tori Hadacek. Number 9, Jasmine Bush. Number 10, Haley Cooney. Number 12, Allie Carty. Number 15, Megan Carty. Number 21, Emily Schmidt. Number 22, Jaden Jolly. The assistant coaches are Barry Jesse and Sarah Jesse. Now the starters for the Knights. Number 2, Jackie Bars. Number 3, Haley Brown. Number 4, Maggie Driscoll. Number 7, Bree Harvey. Number 11, Peyton Parker. Number 13, Megan Hudson. And the libero is number 20, Sierra Nolan. Head coach for the Knights, Brian Jesse. Our officials for this afternoon's game are first referee, Deb Rickards. Second referee, Beth Whittle. First line judge is Mike Schwacke. And second line judge is Kim Potick. Now let's play championship volleyball.
Before we get set with the opening serve, let's take a look at the keys to the match. Barb, what's it going to take for Dike-New Hartford to win another state title?
Well, they have a little bit of, I'd say, a thorn stuck in their craw. They want revenge. Union beat them in the regular season matchup to win the conference. They want revenge. Then they need to rally, rally, rally. They need to play their great defense and keep the balls going back and forth.
That's a look at the keys for Dike-New Hartford, 2A champions last year. How about for the Union Knights? They're number 1 heading into this, and they've already beat Dike-New Hartford already. This should be easy, right?
Well, you would think so, but it's the state championship. They need to use their senior leadership. Their seniors are all main players. They've been on this floor a few times. They know what it takes. And then they also need to put the ball away. If they can put the ball away quickly and not let Dike's great defense get to them, then they should be successful.
6th trip to state in the last 7 years for Union. The student section is here, and they're getting ready to go. Dike-New Hartford, well, they've been here 27 times. Ranked number 3 on Iowa's all-time list. We've already handed out 2 championships. Ankeny Centennial, your 5A champ. Dubuque-Wahlert, your 4A champion. Let's get this 3A match underway. And to start, it'll be Peyton Parker, a senior. You just probably should assume most everyone for Union is a senior because they just are filled with experience and that senior leadership. Underway, Dike-New Hartford in the white uniform celebrating. They score the first point, get the side out, and now here's our first look at Bailey Peterson. Peterson, a junior, twin sister of Sydney Peterson, number 8. Daughters of UNI head volleyball coach Bobby Peterson. Nice line shot, it's open for Madison Levens, the 5'7" senior outside hitter, and an early 2-0 lead as you see on the replay here.
Well, what a great shot. She wasn't in great position to hit the ball hard, so she did a nice roll shot, kind pointed to that golden corner, but empty space nonetheless.
Service error. We saw a lot of service errors in the 5A match. Might have cost Cedar Falls a chance to defeat Ankeny Centennial. That's the first one we've seen here in the early goings of this 3A match. Tough serve, nice up by Peterson. And here comes Union to the outside. Quick set. Good up. Strong attack. And Union with the kill, their first kill of the match. We're knotted up at 2 apiece.
One of the things we should talk about is Sydney Peterson. She is in the state probably the best defensive player, and she's being highly recruited, getting looks from top Division I teams, and hasn't made her decision yet, but it will be exciting to know where she goes. Of course, a lot of us want her to stay close to home so we can watch her and play when she plays for her mother at UNI, but that decision just hasn't been made yet.
Still plenty of time. You're just a junior. I don't think I made my decision where I was going to college till well into my senior year.
Well, a lot of college coaches put pressure on young kids pretty early on.
Times have changed a little bit. 3-2. As you look around the U.S. Cellular Center Arena, you just see so many college coaches at all levels. Junior college, Division III, Division II, Division I, in the state of Iowa, out state of Iowa. A lot of viewers tuning in, looking at some top talent that has the potential to play at that next level. Great rally. Ball was tipped, last touch by Union, and we're tied at 3 apiece as we talked about. This is Sydney Peterson, the libero. Union. Strong attack, but a block at the net. Rickert in on that. The sophomore. Getting it through the block that time. Stuck with it, Megan Hudson, the senior.
Well, and Dike-New Hartford's block was well formed that time. Both blockers were right there, arms together. They jumped at the same time. She just powered that ball through the block.
Hudson leads the team in kills. 542 of them. Through the block on the near sideline, a quick side out. And Amber Rickert, the sophomore outside hitter, had 231 kills heading into this state tournament. To serve for Dike-New Hartford, Eden.
Well, we should talk a little bit about Eden. She's had 3 concussions this year, so she wears some head protection to help from if a ball hit her in the head or something like that. She hit her head on the floor. So she, you know, volleyball can be a very physical sport as well as some of the other ones where there is actual body contact.
Barb, she's only played in 10 sets before coming to the state tournament.
Well, it's pretty impressive. That may be the case, but in the state tournament, she's had a major role. She's come in and she's served a lot of balls.
We're witnessing it right now. They only played in 10 sets in the regular season.
Well, and it shows the confidence that Coach Harms has in her. To put her in after only 10 sets in the state tournament, all throughout the tournament.
6-5 as we're about the early goings, feeling each other out here as this 3A matchup gets underway. These two teams very familiar with each other. Both competing in the NICL conference, the east side of that conference division. Dike-New Hartford with another point to go up to.
You look at that pass. So what Dike-New Hartford does is they want a quick offense. One of the ways to speed up the offense is have a quick pass to the setter. So anytime the ball comes over in a free ball or easier type of pass, they shoot that ball up to the setter, more of a line drive type of pass to speed up that offense.
Big swing. Down for the kill. Point for Bailey Peterson and Dike-New Hartford. She hit it so hard that it went actually out of bounds on the opposite sideline. You know you're bringing the heat when that happens. Leven serving, countering, and hammering it home. Peyton Parker, one of the best, the seniors, coming into this tournament, second on the team in kills with 436, averaging 4.32 kills per set.
Well, and she'll be playing at Des Moines Area Community College next year, so I'm sure they're excited that she's here as well.
Tried to cut that one, sails out of bounds. Union with the point, putting together a mini run here, trailing just by one, and a chance to score more as the libero, Sierra Nolan, serving. Little miscommunication as two Dike-New Hartford players run into each other. Ball tipped out of bounds, and the run continues for Union.
Well, and that miscommunication may have been partly because those two aren't used to playing together. Like you said, Eden has only played 10 sets before the state tournament, so they just need to make sure that they talk about it, call it loudly, and then let the, anytime you can, if it's ball control, let the libero take control.
What a smart decision here. She comes flying in, and then
little change up. We call that a roll shot.
They were expecting the heat, but the roll shot came off instead.
She did a good job of disguising it. That's one of the keys when you're in that position, is you want to make sure every time you go to attack, it looks the same. Whether you hit, tip, roll shot, whatever you're going to do, go up hard like you're going to hammer it, and then make your decision.
So they got the side out. Now Dike-New Hartford first to double digits. They lead 10-8. We played a 25, win by 2. This is the first of potentially 5 sets here in this Class 3A championship match. Barb Randall, Eric Rayleigh with the call, and Dike-New Hartford gets another point. That time it's Haley Durnan, the senior, who had 188 kills heading into this.
The timing was off a little bit between Durnan and Hedges, but she was still able to get a hand on it, which sometimes works in your favor. Like in that time, you could just kind of tip it over the block.
Another point off the hands of Union, and LaPorte City Union calls their first time out. It's 12-8 in favor of Dike-New Hartford. There's the replay and the celebration. A lot of coaching going on right now. Let's listen inside Dike-New Hartford's huddle.
Make that pass and go. Transition off the net, give yourself room to work, okay? Be ready for a release, tip, something like that. Be talking to each other, all right? Keep going, good job.
Diane Harms, 14 years at Dike-New Hartford. Listen to this record, 521 wins, 93 losses. It's her 23rd year of coaching, and she overall has 786 wins, just 187 losses. 11th appearance that she's had at the state tournament. Oh, and by the way, 4 state championship titles.
Well, she inherited a great program when she came to Dike-New Hartford. However, I will say this, it is hard to maintain that level throughout the time, and she's done that for 14 years and done a tremendous job. Those 4 state championships were in a row. I mean, she's done a remarkable job. You've got to give her a lot of credit for where this program is.
And they bump up a class. That's why they're playing here in Class 3A right now. Another point. Here's a look at the replay. A 5-0 run, and this is after Union went on a 3-0 run. So
that's
good
right.
To see Dike-New Hartford. I mean, that's volleyball, right?
Right.
The momentum runs.
Yeah, you of course always want your team to score a bunch of points, and you always want to stop the other team from scoring a bunch of points. But that's kind of the pendulum of the momentum. It swings back and forth.
Nice hit. And this rotation seems to be looking really good for Dike-New Hartford right now.
It absolutely is.
Another service ace, and it's now 15-8.
Well, and that is 6 points that she's scored off her serve, Amber Rickert. They got one to get her to serve, so they're on a 7-point run.
Union desperately looking for a side out right here. Blocked.
What a great block.
And they're wide open. The whole defense is creeping up close to the net. And Peterson punches it down for the kill. No one back home in the back row. And the second and final timeout called by Union. Let's see what they're talking about in their huddle.
Move the ball around a little bit here, a little more. Okay?
Hey, we got plenty of game.
Plenty of game to get going. We'll get it going here. Okay? We got time. Let's go.
Keeping positive, trying to just take that second timeout to stop the momentum that Dike-New Hartford has built here.
Well, they definitely have a lot of faith in their team. They have one of the questions we ask them is if they have any tricks up their sleeves if something starts going wrong. And the response we got, this is a very interesting response, and not a lot of coaches answer that question, but they have players who can play all different positions, so they'll switch their players around to just kind of mix things up a little bit to keep Dike-New Hartford guessing.
Bailey Peterson leading the way with 5 kills. Dike has 13 kills already. 13 of the 16 points are for Dike-New Hartford. And here we see a substitution trying anything to get a side out. This is Haley Brown checking in. She'll go in back to serve and replace Jasmine Bush.
She's one of the few non-seniors.
A junior defensive specialist, has experience playing in 98 sets. Beautiful block. But Dike doesn't let it hit the court. Pushing it to the back row. It sails deep, and finally a side out, but not after a huge run to go up 16-10. So let's see if Union can answer. Shallow serve.
Nice serve.
Nice block. They're going to go at Peterson again. And that falls down for a point. Has a lot of different options when she's up there hitting, doesn't she?
She sure does. She's been playing volleyball all her life. Like you said, she's the daughter of UNI volleyball coach Bobby Peterson. And so she's grown up in the gym. She's watched a lot of volleyball and can kind of emulate some of those things that she's seen her mom's team do.
Union has a lot of multi-sport athletes. They're trying to dig deep here and muster a run. Parker with the kill. She gets to go back to serve. Just points have been hard to come by for Union. There's one. She gets the kill and now backs it up the next point with a service ace.
Well, and for those of you watching who may not have watched volleyball for a while, a net serve used to be an out serve, but the ball can now hit the net on the serve, and as long as it goes over, it's playable. In my day, I would have stopped at that one. Oh, my serve.
Bailey Peterson to serve for Dike-New Hartford. We played at 25. And that's a point. They returned it, but not inbounds.
Well, that is great communication on Dike-New Hartford's side. You could see Sydney Peterson was right there ready to play it, and she wanted to play it, but her teammate yelled, out, 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 and so she quickly got out of the way to let the ball bounce.
So communication's important in this sport?
Just a little bit. You have 6 people in 900 square feet all running around. You got to make sure that you make yourself heard.
The point and the side out for LaPorte City Union. Jackie Bars, the senior, middle hitter, goes back serving from about the middle of that service line.
Nice.
Kept alive. Dike, though, real quick offense, returns it. That's a beautiful set. Hard to go sideline to sideline and cover that much ground.
So,
but Union with the point.
One of the things I like to watch is actually how hitters hit. Megan Hudson does a really nice job of hitting the ball at the top of her reach. So when you jump, you want to make sure that when your arm's extended as far as it can, that you're hitting the ball as high up as possible. And she does a really good job of that. And sometimes so good that it goes over the block.
Over the block that time, but out of bounds. Dike-New Hartford with the side out. They lead by 6, needing just 5 more points to take this opening set. Peterson to serve. The libero, Sydney.
Bailey and Sydney are twins, not identical, as you can tell, but they're twins.
Quick to end and make sure that Dike doesn't go on a run here. The side out, and here's Maggie Driscoll.
We talk a lot about middle attacks and what they can mean to an offense. And of course, I'm biased because I'm a former middle, but that showed perfectly. She was up quick. The setter got her the ball. There was no way that Dike-New Hartford could get more than one blocker on her, so she was able to hit whatever angle she wanted and put that ball away easily.
Fourth kill here for Madison Levenz, a senior outside hitter for Dike-New Hartford. Closing in on the end of this opening set for the Class 3A championship here in Cedar Rapids. Union in the black tops. Dike-New Hartford celebrating with the white uniforms.
Okay, so that was beautiful all the way around. That was a beautiful quick set. That was a beautiful hit. It was a beautiful block. One of the problems with Hudson's hit on that was she tried to hit it straight down. So when you try and hit it straight down, the blocker only has to get about 3 inches over the net. So sometimes you want to try and aim for the back 5 feet of the court because you have a better chance of getting it over the block rather than getting blocked.
Harvey with the kill, her first. Trying to get some momentum heading into this second set is #1 ranked Union. There's another point. Let's go to our net camera to see how this one unfolds.
Pretty good. I mean, the hands were pushed over the net a little bit. They could be, the arms could be extended a little bit more over the net, kind of like the angle of a roof of a house, but it worked.
Great analysis from Barb Randall, former All-American at the University of Iowa. She was also inducted into the Volleyball Hall of Fame here in Iowa. Again, congratulations to Hannah Wilms, Haley Eckerman, and Shelby Kinsel being inducted before this 3A match. 23-17. Dike-New Hartford has pretty much had the lead and been in control, up by a couple of points here this entire opening set, especially when they went on that run to widen the gap. Beautiful block.
Great coverage on that too.
Quick set, beautiful block. Off the hands, down to the point for Union. We've seen good blocking, and now these hitters are having to get a little creative. How do I get it through or around or over that block?
Well, one of the things, Dike-New Hartford is not very big. They're 5'7", 5'7", 5'5", 5'7", 5'8". They're just not very big. But they get a lot of blocks and they get a lot of touches. A lot of that is because, like I mentioned earlier, hitters are trying to hit it straight down rather than kind of a deeper angle that wouldn't necessarily be touched by just a few inches over the net.
Set point for Dike-New Hartford. Amber Rickert, a sophomore for Dike-New Hartford. Union. Good swing. It was blocked. And Dike-New Hartford with the point. And they win. Final score 25-18, but we're just getting started. You got to win 3 to win the match in the championship. Back to more right after this.
Every great cause has martyrs. Every war has suicide missions, and make no mistake, this is war. You're not a soldier, you are a doctor.
I'm an army doctor, which means I can break every bone in your body while naming them.
The name is Sherlock Holmes, and the address is 221B Baker Street.
See it Sunday afternoon at 4:30 on Iowa Public Television.
Find your favorite programs on IPTV. Submerge yourself in period dramas. Experience world-renowned musical performances. Improve your life with lifestyle programming. Travel around Iowa and the world. Programs made possible in large part by the support of viewers like you. Join Iowa Public Television for Festifall, a new tradition, November 19th and 20th and 26th through the 28th.
Anne, surely you have a genius for getting into trouble. Anne!
Red hair makes it easier to be bad than good. How dare you?
Lord help us all.
You promise to be careful?
Oh, Harry, whoa!
Don't worry, I'm an extremely responsible child.
Anne of Green Gables, lights out, young lady.
A new version of an old favorite, Thursday, November 24th.
Dike-New Hartford goes on an 8-0 run, and that helps them win the opening set 25-18 over Union. We caught up with Dike-New Hartford's Madison Levens and head coach Diane Harms after the semifinal victory to get their thoughts heading into this championship match.
I think that we have a lot more chemistry this year and that we all get along like very, very well. And we also have like not just, you know, like one player that just gets like every team or all the team's kills. Like we have a lot of like diversity and a lot of kids on the team that can just get the kills for everyone.
Every year they come down with a different group of girls, and you know, for the seniors, they don't want to end their senior year without, you know, finishing at the state tournament. For the incoming freshmen, it's their first opportunity. So I just think with the new mix every year, you just have that new excitement every year trying to get back down here to the state tournament.
Barb, we knew that this was going to be an entertaining 3A matchup. Your thoughts on that opening set?
Wow, what a great match. I'm a little bit surprised that Dike-New Hartford won so easily, so it should be a great second set.
Remember when they faced off earlier, they're in the same conference for the conference title, it was Union winning. So Union is ranked #1 in 3A, Dike-New Hartford is ranked #2. 17 kills for Dike-New Hartford in the opening set, just 10 for Union. 15 digs for Dike, 18 for Union, 3 blocks for Dike, 1 block for Union. We'll wipe the slate clean and start 0-0 here in the second set, but Dike does get that first point, and now a chance to build on it. They switch sides, so Dike is on the left of your TV screen, Union on the right. Union evens things up at 1 apiece.
Well, that was a great angle. She did use that very deep golden corner, like I like to call those corners. They're golden if you can hit them. Probably didn't need to go that deep, but it was in, and it was a perfectly placed shot.
Service error, good communication to let that ball sail deep. But talking with Union before the match, they say as conference opponents, we know a lot about each other. Dike-New Hartford is a very disciplined team who commits very little errors. And obviously, if you don't commit errors, then your opponent cannot take advantage of it. And right now, a 3-0 run to go up 3-1. Excuse me, a 2-1 run. And Peterson to serve. Little joust at the net, and they're going to say in the net was Dike-New Hartford. And there's a side out.
One of the things that makes Bailey Peterson's serve tougher is it has a little bit of a curve to it. It's hard to see from the side angle, but from the end angle, it looks like it's just a straight serve, but that it takes a little bit curve off to the left when you're looking at it from the server's line, and that makes it just a little bit harder to pass.
The serve is Bailey Peterson once she gets a volleyball. There she goes.
Well, we should talk a little bit about the ball rotation and how that works. So the ball rotation at the state tournament, it's a 3-ball rotation, and the players that are doing the ball rotation are local players that didn't qualify for state. They get coaches to kind of volunteer their team, and then they get to come work at the state, watch the state tournament, dream about maybe being here next year, and then they use this 3-ball rotation, so the server always has the ball and you don't have to wait very long.
They literally roll out the red carpet for us here in Cedar Rapids. As you saw, the starting lineups being introduced, the players run out with smoke and lights and running out on a red carpet. Downtown Cedar Rapids, great hosts.
Well, and that's new. So that smoke and some of the things they're doing this year is new because the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union has a new executive director, Jean Berger, and she is a champion for girls sports. She wants to make this a really special experience, wants girls to remember it forever, and so she's doing a lot to brand the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. You'll see a lot more of the pink, the hot pink color around. The winners of each match get pink t-shirts that say state champions. She's just really doing a lot to build that brand, and we'll see more of it in the years to come.
Jean Berger, former senior women's administrator at Drake University and the University of Northern Iowa, taking over just at the start of the fall. 6-4, Dike-New Hartford with the early advantage here. Again, these two teams are from the same conference. These two teams and schools are only about a half an hour away from each other. And this conference is incredible. The NICL East, 4 of the 6 volleyball finalists in 1A, 2A, and 3A came out of NICL East. 4 of the 6 finalists. Dike-New Hartford and Union playing right now. Columbus, who will play in the 2A match, and Hudson, who will play in the 1A match. And it was the first time in school history that LaPorte City Union won the NICL East in volleyball. And it was the only loss Dike-New Hartford had in conference play.
Well, that area of the state is very powerful. You said 4 of the 6 came from that conference. Well, 6 of the 10 finalists come from the Cedar Falls Waterloo area. We have Cedar Falls in 5A, Union and Dike-New Hartford here in 3A, Waterloo Columbus in 2A, and then the Janesville and Hudson final in 1A. They're all from the Waterloo Cedar Falls area, which is amazing.
You can get to about 20 miles from the UNI campus. You could get to 6 of the schools competing for a state title here today. 7-6 the score here in the second set. A lot of tense moments unfolding here as Union does not want to fall behind 2-0.
So that call is a back row attack, and what that means is a person who's in the back row cannot attack the ball in front of that 3-meter line or that 10-foot line that you see going through the court if they're above the height of the net.
And directly into the net sails the volleyball in that serve attempt. So pretty interesting. This is literally a rematch for the NICL East Conference.
And it's
but with
a rematch,
more on the line.
Yeah, it's a rematch for the conference championship and just, the state championship.
Again, the champions already awarded today were Ankeny Centennial as they swept Cedar Falls, and Dubuque Wahlert swept #1 Pella. So the 2 schools ranked #1 in the state have already lost in 5A and 4A. And right now, Union Knights ranked #1 in Class 3A, trailing 1-0 against #2 ranked Dike-New Hartford. The timing was perfect on that block. Carly Dove, the sophomore.
Well, and she's the only player on the Dike-New Hartford team that's 6 foot or above. She's 6'1". Good placement with her hands, kept them over that net, kept the ball from ever coming on the Dike-New Hartford side of the net.
Strong, powerful attack, but it's returned, and it's going to be a point for Dike-New Hartford. Look out, here's a run. And Union does not want to see the run continue. Brian Jesse, in his 10th year as the head coach, 7th year at Union, calls a timeout. Let's go inside the Dike-New Hartford huddle.
You guys got to make sure you're out so that you're, okay, get it pressed back in, okay? When we block, make sure we're pressing and pulling. We're going just vertical sometimes, okay? So get a good press, all right? Good cover there, all right? Stay aggressive and talk. Keep fighting, be aggressive, all right? Let's go.
So Barb, as a former volleyball player, being aggressive, especially on this big of a stage, that's pretty important advice, isn't it?
It's very important, although it kind of depends on the situation. You know, if you're way behind and you can't get anything rolling, sometimes you just need to get your rhythm going. But yeah, aggressive is, in my book, almost always better than not being aggressive. Aggressive and smart, I like to say.
Let's see if Madison Hedges can be aggressive with the serve. Leading by 4, Dike-New Hartford. Perfect placement. Wow. Hard to cover every inch of the volleyball court, and that one was left wide open. Good vision, nice execution. Give and go. Down for the kill. 12-8 after the 10th kill for Peterson. Here's another look. It's Bailey Peterson, already in double digits. The only player in double-digit kills already.
And it looked like on that play, Union was in a rotation defense, which basically covers those golden corners and opens up the middle back part of the court, which is exactly where Peterson hit it.
And both these teams do play the rotation defense, from what it appears. Good serve. Quick set. And a chance to build on it. 5 kills already for Durnan. Back set, slide. Have to love the effort. But Dike-New Hartford with the point, and Union with their second and final timeout. Dike-New Hartford leads by 7. Here's what Union has to say.
A little bit. Get some swings. Okay? Back row, you guys have got to have your weight down so you can move them. We got to have 2 girls on every ball, not nobody standing. Okay, let's go. Let's get after it.
Brian Jesse done an incredible job in his 7th year of leading Union. Well, what has he done in 7 years? Taken them to state tournament 6 times. And he played a real competitive schedule. 40-4 losses to Linn-Mar, Ankeny Centennial, and Mount Vernon.
All state qualifiers.
On the other side of the coin, Dike-New Hartford, they have 5 losses: Janesville, Cedar Falls, Union, and West Des Moines Valley. What's
sounds
common
familiar.
there? All state qualifiers. Plus, Dike-New Hartford then beat Cedar Falls, state runner-up in 5A twice. They beat Ankeny Centennial, state champion once, Janesville, Iowa City West, and Linn-Mar.
You saw, or you heard Coach Harms talk about that they're blocking. I don't think it was this time out. I think it was the one before. Their blocking arms need to be pushed over more than straight up. And they're working on that. You could see from that replay on that block that they're working on that. They aren't quite as pushed over as they could get, but they're working on it.
A 6-0 run for Dike-New Hartford.
Yeah,
make it 7. Dialed up a perfect serve, a perfect ace, and now a double-digit lead for Dike-New Hartford. How about 10 kills and 3 aces to go along with it for Bailey Peterson. Attack air, and the run continues. We saw a big run in the first set for Dike-New Hartford, and now a big run here.
And 2 different servers. In the first set, it was Rickert, and now it's Bailey Peterson.
There's the block they're looking for and desperately needing. The side out. And now time for Union to go on a run.
Well, even though Dike-New Hartford lost to Union in the regular season, they still believed that they could win today. When we talked to some of the players after the match yesterday, they didn't have any fear about going into this match playing Union.
I think they wanted it.
Yeah, absolutely. They knew that they could get a rematch and potentially a win out of it.
They win that point, putting them 1 step closer. Let's go to our net cam.
Oh, that's much better. So as we talk about that angle over the net, that one, actually all 4 arms, both blockers' arms, were pushed over. They still could be held there a little longer, but it's getting better each time we look at it.
Dike-New Hartford wins the first set 25-18, and they are improving. They look even more sharp, even more focused, even more dominant here in the second set, up 21-9.
And we just watched Bailey Peterson get a bunch of serves. Now Sydney Peterson is on a roll of scoring 3 points with an ace right there. If she can do it, I want to do it. That's how twins go, right?
I would assume so. Very competitive. But Dike-New Hartford's block was not perfect on that execution. And the kill for Bree Harvey.
Harvey, a senior, leads the team in blocks. Other senior leaders, Sierra Nolan, Maggie Driscoll, Megan Hudson, Jackie Bars, and Peyton Parker. 6 seniors playing in the main rotation, trying to determine to end their career on a high note with a championship trophy.
Well, it doesn't appear that Union is afraid of Dike-New Hartford either. I mean, they know each other so well that it's almost like going out and scrimmaging in practice, except it's just for a state championship.
Union has a lot of work to do, trailing 22-11. Volleyball is definitely a game with swings, momentum, and runs. Dike's been on an 8-0 run the last 2 sets. And that's exactly what Union's going to need right now.
Let's look at these hands. It looked from where we could see it before, they were a little pushed over, but not like they go up straight. You kind of want them to go up more at an angle. However, you can't really argue with success, can you?
I'm not arguing. It worked. Easy point there. The ball hung right above the nylon of the net. And that brings up set point, 24-11.
Well, and Driscoll, the setter for Union, is back row, so Dike-New Hartford knew that she couldn't send it over anyway.
Set point. Levens. Now the back row attack by Peterson. Back row attack for Union, and it's 25-11. Dike-New Hartford one step closer to defending their state title, except they moved up a class to 3A, trying to get it done and get a little revenge against the Union Knights. We'll be back with more right after this.
I want to go, I want to explore, I want to see what's out there. I'm living for the chance. Oh.
It's kind of mind-boggling.
It's so exciting.
Children are priority one for Iowa Public Television. Nearly 2/3 of Iowa's teachers take advantage of IPTV's educational resources. IPTV's Ready to Learn initiative, built on the base of high-quality programs and online resources from PBS, helps low-income children to increase early literacy and math skills. Parents and educators rely on IPTV for the safest and most trusted programming online and interactive learning experiences.
Dike-New Hartford looking good, up 25-18, 25-11, needing just one more win. However, Union has other ideas. Top-ranked #1 Union. We talked to them after their semifinal victory yesterday. Here's a look at Bree Harvey and head coach Brian Jesse.
I think it's a great step in our program. I know we've been here once before, but to have another chance at it, and especially when we didn't qualify last year, it's a great feeling.
I just think we're going to have to, recuperate a little bit after this big match here and talk about what we need to do. I mean, there's not going to be a lot of surprises between us and Dike, and we just need to come and do like we did today, just leave it all out on the floor, see what happens, and if our best is good enough, great.
Barb Randall, Eric Braley back here as we get set for the third set. Barb, Dykes look pretty dominant here.
They really have, and it's kind of a surprise, especially since Union has been so dominant this tournament. They've taken care of teams fairly easily and quickly. And so it's been interesting to watch. It'll be curious to see if Coach Jesse can get his team back on track.
A lot of seniors on this Union team, 6 in the main rotation. What do seniors do with their backs against the wall? We'll see. I have quite confidence, having seen them play, that they're not done quite yet. We've seen teams do it time and time again. Come back from down 0-2 to win the match and win a championship. Dike-New Hartford, though, they look focused. They look ready for a little revenge as Union beat them in the regular season for the conference title. Let's get this third set underway here as Union serves first. As the opening point goes to Dike-New Hartford. A couple of statistics through the first 2 sets, Barb. Dike-New Hartford, 26 kills, Union 18. That's very lopsided. 5 aces for Dike, just 1 for Union. And Peterson has gone on 2 8-point runs. Dike-New Hartford has gone on 2 8-point runs. 1 in the first, 1 in the second set when she's back there serving Bailey Peterson. And there she goes and grabs the volleyball to serve again with a 2-0 advantage.
Well, it's pretty smart to have the 2 Peterson twins serving first and second.
Nice up in the back row. Perfect! Oh, my.
Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about matchups here. Union has changed their rotation and probably some of their players around. I don't have it all configured yet, but they have changed their matchups. So I like seeing coaches try different strategies like that. If something's not working, make a change and see if you can get something else to work. So right now they've flipped their outside hitters so that, let's see, number 11, which is Peyton Parker. She was away from the setter. Now she's next to the setter, and so we'll see how that works for Union.
Playing a little bit of a chess game here inside the sport of volleyball.
Well, and that sometimes can make all the difference, because if you have a blocker who really has a hitter's number, just by changing it to a different hitter, that blocker may not time it quite right with that hitter, and you may have a lot of success.
Union getting another point here, 3-2. Union, again, so good this year with only 4 losses. Those 4 losses coming against state tournament qualifiers, as a kill for Dike-New Hartford there. But taking a look at their wins, if you look at the replay, Union defeated Janesville, Linn-Mar, Johnston, Dike, Hudson, Marion, and Sumner Fredericksburg this season.
Those were all state qualifiers too.
So definitely knowing that they can compete with anyone. And then Dike on the other side wins over Cedar Falls twice, Ankeny Centennial, Janesville, Iowa City West, and Linn-Mar. Both coaches trying to do everything in their power to get these student athletes prepared for the biggest stage, going up against tough, bigger schools.
Well,
nice swing.
You have to think when a team plays defense as well as Dike-New Hartford does, you have to think that they're going to be able to stand in there with a lot of the best teams in the state.
Parker with the kill. She's number 2 on the teams in kills, averaging 4.3 a set, and an attack percentage of a sizzling 394.
So again, she's 5'7". The key to the quick attack, I mean, yes, middles are usually taller than that, but the key is how quick can you get it there, how quick can you beat the block. And so if you can get there, be in the air when the setter has the ball, so the setter can just put the ball in your hands, lots of times you can beat the block, and that's really all you need to do.
Finding that back service line. Seems like Union is starting to get a little groove going on offensively.
It does feel like the momentum's changing just a little bit.
Haley Brown serving. Here comes Union. They got options. And a point for Dike-New Hartford. 4 contacts called, might have hit the hands on the block as well.
Well, I think the ref thought that it only hit the top of the net and no hands, and that's why she made that call.
Same
Sometimes
result
it's hard to tell.
regardless.
Yep.
Same result. So Dike-New Hartford, who went on 8-0 runs in the first and second set, on a little run right now. We're tied at 6. It's a must-win scenario for Union, the #1 ranked team here in Class 3A. Service air, and giving the ball over to Union. Peyton Parker, the senior. Service ace. Oh my. Dialed that one in.
I think that was the same spot that Bailey Peterson hit last set. The ball's a magnet.
Service ace. It's hard to get much closer.
Right.
Than that.
And it's hard to tell what those balls are going to do, and so it's easy to let them go because you hope that they're going to be out, and these balls are dropping right in on the line.
And if it drops on the line, that counts. Back-to-back service aces. A 3-0 run for Union. Scramble situation, and hustle pays off for Dike-New Hartford.
Well, and right now that's kind of making the difference is the touches that Dike-New Hartford are getting, they're able to get a second contact and send it over the net. The touches that Union are getting, they aren't able to get that second contact to send it over to the net on the third. So that's one of the differences.
Speaking of differences, Barb, I know we've been doing this for quite a while, announcing the championships, and it's been fun to see how the sport has evolved here. What are some of the main rule changes or differences that you've seen that have impacted the sport of high school volleyball at the state level?
Sure, well, the main one is the rally scoring. So it used to be where you had to serve to get a point, and you only played to 15. Now you have to, whoever wins the rally gets the point, and you play to 25. Still 3 out of 5 sets. Then the net, we talked about the net serve, that is considered in if it goes over the net. And then the other main one is the libero or the libero position, which is a defensive position. Those players wear different colored jerseys, so the refs know that they have different rules pertaining to them. They don't count as a substitution. They can set the ball as long as they're behind the 3-meter line. If they're in front of this 3-meter line, they have to bump it, and they cannot attack the ball as long as anywhere. I mean, they can't attack the ball as long as they're above the height of the net.
So a lot of rule changes in about the past decade. It'll be interesting to see. Every year they analyze and see, do we keep everything the same? Do we change? Do we throw in something maybe Division I volleyball's doing at the NCAA level, something international rules?
Well, even internationally, they're thinking about changing some of the rules. And I think, I wasn't necessarily for the rally scoring, although I like it now. But I think some of the changes that they're talking about making will really change the game, and I just keep thinking back to basketball. I'm like, just because the athletes got better, they didn't change the height of the hoop, or they didn't change, the size of the court, that kind of thing. Some of the rules they're talking about is, like, for the jump serve, that you have to land behind the end line. For the back row attack, you have to land behind the 3-meter line.
We'll keep an eye on that. 4 contacts called in a very long rally, and you can tell that Union's digging a little bit deeper here, tying things up at 10 apiece. You like it, just the evolution, though, at the quality that we're seeing here, the level 5A, 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A of these student athletes compared to even 10, 15 years ago.
Yep, the game is a lot faster. That's how you beat people. So the faster the speed gets, the better you are. And so that it started to be fast at the international level, and then that kind of trickles down, and now it's fast at the high school level, but the international level, as we could see from the Olympics this summer, is even faster than that. So it just, whatever you can do to make it faster.
Great analysis from Barb Randall, my broadcast partner. Former All-American at the University of Iowa, former assistant Division I coach, led the Panthers to the Sweet 16, many successful years, helping to educate you, the viewers, about this great sport that we love, the sport of volleyball. It's Championship Friday here on Iowa Public Television. We're at the 3A matchup Two schools located about a half hour away from each other in Northeast Iowa, LaPorte City Union and Dike-New Hartford. Dike was dominant in the first two sets, winning 25-18, 25-11. We're at the midway point here in the third, and it's about as even as we can get it.
Dike-New Hartford is lucky they won that point because, well, I mean, I shouldn't say lucky. They should have won that point because Union was in the net huge during that play, but they ended up winning the point anyway. So, like we say, the ball knows.
12-12 as Union on the attack. Dike wearing the white uniforms, Union wearing the dark tops. Going near side. Blocked, but out of bounds, tooled out of bounds. Last touched by Union. Levens with the kill. That's her 10th. So a chance to build on this lead. Attack from the back row. That's a tough hit. Now the overpass. Another back row attack. Wide open opportunity. Union was just a little bit out of system defensively, and that left a wide open hole in the back row. As you look at the replay, a timeout called by LaPorte City Union. Popped it up. No one's home in the back row. A 4-0 run for Dike-New Hartford. Let's go inside their huddle.
Back in, okay? Good job. Way to be up and be back up, okay? Blockers, make sure we're going up strong, getting our shoulders forward. We're looking up, so we're getting used more, okay? Level head, shoulders forward, okay? Hitters hit our spots, okay? Let's go. Here we go.
27th state tournament appearance for Dike-New Hartford. For Diane Harms, she's already won 4 state titles, looking to make it 5. It's not easy to bump up a class to go from 2A to 3A.
It really isn't, but I think, you know, in Dike and in New Hartford, they have something in their water, and they just grow up knowing how to play volleyball.
Well, good at football and many other sports as well. State qualifier for the football players. Hard to believe the fall sports seasons after today are done for the girls, and I know football wraps up soon, and then shift gears and
we're in the winter.
Play basketball and wrestle and all that fun stuff.
Well, and a lot of these players on both teams are in multiple sports, and that, I think that's great. It gives them, for one, they don't get burnt out on one sport, but it also gives them things from one sport can carry over and transfer to another sport. They're intangibles.
So as a former Division I coach, you like recruiting the multi-sport student athletes?
Absolutely. It's getting fewer and further between with those because
Club,
a lot of
AAU.
And a lot of coaches are really emphasizing, you know, you have to specialize into one sport, which I think is just too bad.
Union needing to win this third set. They are ranked #1 overall in Class 3A. They defeated Dike-New Hartford earlier this year. Dike has been impressive through the first 2 sets. Getting the kill there, though, is Bush.
Well, in that time, the defense for Dike-New Hartford kind of split the back court, and so the middle back part of the court was open.
She's just a freshman, Jasmine Bush, the outside hitter.
Well, and Dike used the offense that, you know, when a ball hits right there in the middle of the court, we coaches call that a campfire defense. We don't like the campfire defense because that means everybody just sits around and watches it.
And the ball drops right in the middle of the campfire.
Yep.
Attack air. Smart decision to try and go sideline to sideline, but just a little too deep on the attack. And now a 2-point lead for Dike-New Hartford. We're playing to 25. Peterson, tough serve. Nice pass.
Nice
and it
angle.
results in a point. How
Harvey.
difficult is that, though, to get a good pass after that serve?
Oh, those serves are coming like bullets. They're coming so quick. Now, on a spin serve, those are easier to pass. They're just harder to get to. So if you can get to it, all you have to do is keep your arms behind the spin, and it's a good pass. So the float serve is tougher to pass because it moves in the air kind of like a knuckleball. So sometimes you can be in perfect position and that ball will just move at the last minute.
Maggie Driscoll, the senior setter, had a couple good ups there, but unable to get one there. And it's another kill for Levens. Levens also leading the way. Bailey Peterson offensively, 24 kills between the two of them. And you throw in Haley Durnan's 7 kills. It's a pretty balanced attack for Dike-New Hartford here. Middle attack, hammer time, look out. Did I mention Amber Rickert? She's a sophomore, and that's her 4th kill.
Well, and they just have that ball moving so quickly on the offense. That's how they're getting it done. They're not the biggest team, but they jump decently and they're quick.
Tough to stay out of the net there. Ball hit, and no way they're going to get this as the ball sails deep and out of bounds for another kill
played that one.
for Rickert. And now a 4-point lead for Dike-New Hartford. They're 6 points away from sweeping Union and winning the 3A title. But a service error gives Union new hope and new opportunity. Megan Hudson, the senior outside hitter, back in the back row, and now checking in is Haley Brown. Line drive serve, good pass, back set. Had to work kind of hard to get there, but she did, and it results in a kill. Now it's 20-16.
That's a hard ball to play all the way around because it rolls along the tape, so you think you're in your position, and then it rolls along the tape and just drops over. Really difficult.
Second and final timeout called by Brian Jesse and the Union Knights. 20-16, as we've already seen a sweep in 5A and 4A. Barb, 3 matches so far, and Ankeny Centennial was ranked number 2. They beat number 1 Cedar Falls. Dubuque Wahlert was ranked number 2. They defeated number 1 Pella. And now, as you see on your screen, that's Division I head volleyball coach Bobby Peterson, named Coach of the Year nationally several years ago. I think she's having fun and very proud of Sydney and Bailey, her twin daughters. You had a chance to coach with her for many years.
Yeah, and I know one thing for sure. She's nervous.
Well, she'd be nervous if it was 20-3 right now.
Yes, she would be. She doesn't ever take anything for granted.
And that's maybe why she's had so much success coaching.
It absolutely is. She's very prepared.
She's built that UNI volleyball program on the back of Iowa girls. Her program filled with players that have played here at the State of Iowa Volleyball Tournament. She's had a lot of success trying to get back to the NCAA tournament. Meanwhile, Union in a must-win situation.
I'd keep setting her right now. Hudson's hot, and
she's feeling it.
And she hits the ball from a high spot, so I'd just keep giving it to her.
She's averaging 5.4 kills per set, but a side out on the service there. Trying to be aggressive, trying to get the ace, but it goes just a tad out of bounds.
Well, and that's kind of what I was talking about earlier, about being aggressive and depending on where you are in the match. You know, this is do or die for Union. Every missed point they have puts Dike-New Hartford 1 point closer to that championship. So you kind of have to take a little off and make sure you get the ball in. Make it a decent serve, but get it in.
A point for Union. Jackie Bars to serve, and checking into the lineup here, Allie Carty.
Nice spot right over the block on that.
Block, back row, attack, and here comes Union.
A little bit of a flop hit on that. Bailey Peterson's laughing at herself on that one.
Good up, great hang.
What a great touch.
Neither team letting the ball hit the court on this rally. There's the point Union needed. Oh, we're almost tied, 21-20.
So that time Hudson did a great job of keeping the ball high, but I'm also going to say Dike-New Hartford's block jumped a little bit too early, so they were on their way down when she hit.
Let's go inside the Union huddle. They've mounted a comeback and trailed just by 1.
Let's keep the pressure on them now. Keep the pressure on. Strong blocks. Back row. Have your weight down so you can, if they roll one in front, run through that ball. Okay, run through it. Let's go.
Words of wisdom from Brian Jesse.
I kind of wonder if some of the Union players are overheating. A couple of them are putting ice packs on their necks. And so I wonder if they're feeling overly warm.
Well, it's a tense situation. It's cranked up as everything on the line for LaPorte City Union right here. It's a must-win situation after dropping the first set 25-18 and the second set 25-11. They're on a run, but a long way to the finish line. Block, down for the point. Tied at 21.
And the Union fans are feeling a little bit of a breath of relief here.
Great serving from Jackie Bars, the senior. Off the block, and the run continues. 4-0 run.
Well, that was a great touch by Sydney Peterson, but again, I'm going to say, Dike-New Hartford's block is jumping a touch early, so they're on their way down when she's hitting, so it's really easy to hit high off the fingertips.
See what Diane Harms has to say.
Okay, so we're in a side darting. We're going to keep Bailey out at the 5. If nobody's in front of you, you're just going to go up and throw it down. Okay, good pass right here. We got it, okay? Confidence, good pass. Let's go, let's go.
Diane Harms said, our schedule has prepared us for this moment. Our team's poised in the face of adversity. We played some very good teams, had some close matches in both conference play, Saturday tournaments. For tight matches like this, preparing by working on things they can control, like serve receive, staying aggressive. Let's see if Union can fight all the way back. We're seeing some great volleyball unfolding before our eyes right now. Tough play. Union with the point. 23-21. Mercy.
Well, I think that time Union normally plays a perimeter defense, and that time they shifted to a rotation defense to hit. I mean, Bailey Peterson had a great line shot, which on perimeter defense would be great, but I think they shifted to rotation and got that ball. There's another kind of rotational shift. Maybe I'm wrong and they're playing rotation.
Trying to get to set point, but finally the side out. Dike-New Hartford has been fighting for, stopping a 5-0 run.
Peterson did a great job that time of finding the hands. That ball would have been out of bounds had it not hit the blocker's hands, but she was aiming for those hands.
Bailey Peterson, 15 kills to lead everyone in this match. Dike-New Hartford with it. Peterson blocked at the net. Trying to catch him sleeping, and no one able to get to that in the back corner. And we're tied at 23-all, and it's just the second kill of the match for Madison Hedges, the setter. She's a great setter, but she doesn't call her own number very often. No one expecting that play. Quick set. Dike going near side to Peterson. Quick set again. And it's down for the kill on the outside. That brings up set point for LaPorte City Union. 15 kills for Megan Hudson, one of the state's top hitters, averaging nearly 6 kills per set. And a chance for the senior Maggie Driscoll. The kill, and we're going to the fourth set. They had to dig deep but Union behind 16 kills of Megan Hudson. Union avoids the sweep, winning 25-23. Back with more from Cedar Rapids right after this.
Join Iowa Public Television for Festifall, a new tradition, November 19th and 20th and 26th through the 28th.
It's my rock. It's what makes me tick, and I've loved it from a young age, and I can't imagine life without it. It's what really enables us to kind of communicate. The performing arts, the classical arts, all of it, it's what makes us human.
It's an exciting time for the arts. So many people are reached that couldn't have been before.
Without PBS, I don't know if I'd be a singer. I don't know if I would have had that spark.
Public broadcasting is something I grew up with, so my parents always had it on. I don't think there's better bang for your buck than putting it into the arts. I think we need the arts more than ever.
Please support your local PBS station.
From I Have a Dream to I Can't Breathe. From Straight Outta Compton to the White House. Black history is American history.
You must not surrender. Keep hope alive.
Black America since MLK, and still I rise.
Tuesday at 7.
Tomatoes are grown in 90% of home gardens across the country, and they come in thousands of delicious and beautiful varieties. I'm Charity Nebbe. On the next Iowa Ingredient, we'll visit a farm in Grinnell where we'll see tomatoes ripening on the vine, and Chef David Barusio will stop by to give us his fresh take on cooking with tomatoes. All that and more on the next Iowa Ingredient, where local flavors are grown.
Saturday morning at 11:30.
Getting a quick nap in here before this fourth set gets underway. Fans of all ages enjoying this. It's loud in here. Barb Randall, Eric Braley with the call. Barb, we mentioned that it was a must-win. We mentioned that Union has 6 seniors in the starting rotation. They went on a run down the stretch. It was 21-18. And they made the run to get us here to this fourth set.
Well, their offense kind of picked up. They were able to dig a few of the balls that they hadn't been digging earlier, and they were able to put balls away.
Let's get this fourth set underway. It's the first time here today that we've gone to a fourth set. A surprise to me is #1 Cedar Falls was swept by #2 Ankeny Centennial. A surprise to me in Class 4A that #1 Pella was swept by Dubuque Waller. And now, #1 Union is fighting to get this to the 5th set over a very strong Dike-New Hartford.
Well, and they seem to have found their game.
The momentum has shifted.
So that ball was a little bit flat, hit wise because the set was a touch low, and when it's low, it's hard to get hit it on top of it and still make it go over the net. So you kind of have to stay behind it, and sometimes it floats long when you do that.
The Wolverines getting their first point behind Peterson. That's Bailey, and now she has a chance to serve. Dike bumps it over to the outside. We've seen some great individual performances on both sides of the net. That's what you'd expect in the Class 3A final. And Dike on a 2-0 run here.
Well, we talked about Sydney Peterson being one of the best defensive players in the state. So young players who are out here, watch what she does. Watch where she positions herself, because that play was saved by a couple of her digs.
How about a service ace? Not only does Peterson have 16 kills, she has 4 service aces as well.
Well, and I'm going to say it's because her ball does curve a little. It looks like it's going to go straight, and then at the very end it tails off a little bit to her left. which makes it harder to pass.
It's a big side out there for Union. And a player that's starting to emerge a little bit here is Jasmine Bush. She's a 5'8" freshman outside hitter. Had 129 kills in the regular season. But now with 3 kills here, they're starting to go to her maybe a little bit more than they were in the first couple sets. Down the line.
It looks like Dike-New Hartford's game plan is to hit that line shot. They were fairly successful with it early on, but then Union made that adjustment kind of more to a rotational defense and got some saves from it. So we'll see how this chess match plays out.
I like the idea, but hit a little too deep. That back row was open, but a little too hard on the attack. 4-4 here in the fourth. That one's in. Amber Rickert, a sophomore, 6 kills for her.
So I'm going to give you a quiz, Eric.
Oh, no.
We talked about Union changing their lineup in the third set. So in the fourth set, do you think they went with the lineup they went with in sets 1 or 2, or do you think they went with the lineup they went with in the set they won?
Well, this is the easiest quiz I've ever taken. The one that got them to win is the one they started with.
That's exactly right. They kept. So what they had done is they changed their outside hitters. One outside hitter plays next to the setter and one plays away from the setter, and they just switched them, and they've stayed with that switch into this set.
I appreciate you making that quiz relatively easy for me. 5-5. Again, Dike-New Hartford, they're the ones celebrating in white uniforms, taking on LaPorte City Union. Very similar size schools. Dike-New Hartford bumped up from 2A to 3A. 47-5, Dike-New Hartford's record, and Union 40 wins, 4 losses. 6th trip to state for Union in the last 7 years. And Dike-New Hartford, it's the 27th state tournament appearance.
That was a pretty nice tip by Jackie Bars. She barely touched it over the net. I mean, there was no room, and it was just so tight to the net. It was a really nice touch.
She's had herself a great championship match. She was the one back there serving when Union went on that big run. That one's in. Let's go to my favorite camera, the net cam.
You can see that antenna wiggle a little bit, but that's just because the ball hit the net. If the ball hits the antenna, it's up to the line judges to make sure the ref knows that.
Into the net we go.
So that ball was set quite a bit off the net, and it's hard to make an adjustment if you've already started your approach. So that's one of the times where you just have to be smart with it and can't really swing a very aggressive swing at it.
And at the very least, just bump it over the net, even if it's not a hard swing.
Very least.
Big swing there. Caught him sleeping. Again, she does not do that very often. Madison Hedges, just 18 kills in the regular season. She has a couple here, 3 here in this championship match. Union, near side attack, goes long. Hard to go sideline to sideline, cutting it across the face of the net like that.
It's a tough angle, but it can be made. And a lot of times defensively it's very hard to play, but you have to make sure that you don't put too much oomph on it or it does go out of bounds.
Service ace for Madison Levenz, the senior. For Amber Rickert. Levenz joining her in that back row rotation. Second ace so far for Rickert. Right down that line. And the 5th kill for Bars. Substitution. And into the front row comes Allie Carty, a sophomore for Union.
Well, I think it's definitely safe to say that Union has found their game.
Oh, yeah. And again, they needed just to find a way to change the momentum, and they did that in that 3rd set. They know they can beat Dike-New Hartford because they did it already earlier this year. Now, little different scenario. That was in their home gym. This is on the biggest, brightest of stages with all the marbles stacked on the table.
Well, and I don't know if you can call it a neutral site necessarily, because I think the whole town of the whole town of LaPorte and the whole towns of Dike and New Hartford are all here.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure you can call it neutral.
That's what we expect, especially when we get to the 3A, 2A, 1A.
Right.
Just shut down the town and bring everyone to Cedar Rapids.
But do you see any bananas?
There's always one.
That's what you
in the
say every
crowd.
time, and the last few years I haven't seen any bananas.
These student sections always seem to have a theme and try and do everything in their power to support their fellow classmates. Meanwhile, 9 kills coming for LaPorte City Union's Bree Harvey. Cannot say enough about the year that she has had, leading the team in blocks and then a big offensive weapon. Blocked and a point. Carly Dove is 6'1" and she's just a sophomore.
Well,
nice technique on that block.
And she's a perfect player to put on that right side to have a nice big block against usually the other team's strongest hitters.
Ooh, somehow able to tip that over. And not the best attack from the back row for Peterson. About halfway through this 4th set, Union wants this to go 5. They need it to go 5. Dike-New Hartford's going to do everything in their power to try and shut the door and win this 3A title in 4. But an attacked error, and we're seeing more hitting errors from Dike-New Hartford than we didn't see in the first 2 sets.
Well, and some of that may be a little bit of pressure because now Union's fighting back. But Dike-New Hartford right now is just trying to figure out what they did in those first 2 sets and emulate them.
Great job by the Iowa Public Television crew here as you get all the sights and sounds, the different camera angles, capturing the emotion of this Class 3A final. They're working hard here on this Veterans Day, and we'd like to say thank you if you're watching and have served or are currently serving our great nation. A very special day here. And it's fun that we get to hand out some championship trophies to these hard-working student athletes. 5A, 4A, now at 3A. Another error, another point for LaPorte City Union, now leading by 2.
And again, that's a little bit of miscommunication, not knowing who's going to take the ball, and both wanting to do so much to try and get this match back on the right foot for the Wolverines.
Setting it to the outside. Union working the middle and getting a kill. Things are clicking for LaPorte City Union. 6 kills for Bars. Let's go inside the Union huddle as they lead 15-12.
All right, stay aggressive. That's the difference. We're aggressive. Okay, keep the pressure on them the whole time.
Let's keep that serve away from that libero.
Yep, let's try to keep the serve away from the libero a little better. All right. All right, stay with it now. Stay aggressive.
So listening to him, it sounds like he thinks the difference is that they're being aggressive, that they weren't aggressive in the first 2 sets. And I would have to agree. I think they're more aggressive, but I think they've been able to be more aggressive because they've been making fewer errors also. So there's, it's kind of a snowball effect. One comes after the other. Which came first, chicken or egg?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Union is playing their best volleyball heading into the state tournament. They won 18 matches in a row. And I think they were just caught maybe a little by surprise at the dominance of Dike-New Hartford in the first 2 sets, 25-18, 25-11. They've turned that boat around, and they're heading the right direction now after winning that 3rd set, 25-23, and leading here 16-12.
Well, if it's up to Sydney Peterson, she'll take control of this. She is very, very determined.
Not the best pass, tough set, but it's going to result in a Dike-New Hartford point. That's not the cleanest play, but they made it work. Sometimes you got to do that.
Not the cleanest play, but if you can find a way.
It wasn't a good pass, wasn't a good set, it wasn't a good attempt.
But if you can find a way to have it hit the floor, everything's good. A little story about Sydney Peterson from a few years ago. When she was in 8th grade, going to be a freshman, she basically pulled Bailey aside and said, come on, Bailey, we're going to work like crazy because we're going to start on this varsity team. And they did. I mean, Bailey may not have been considered a starter, but she came in the front row every rotation and played a major part on their state championship team that year. So she's quite determined. She works hard for what she has, and it'll be interesting to see if she can dig her team out of this hole. Aha, get it?
Dike-New Hartford with the point. Both her mother, a standout student athlete on the volleyball program at UNI, and her father, a standout student athlete on the football program at UNI. They got that competitive spirit. That is an understatement. 17-14, Union leads by 3. They're looking for a quick side out, and they got it right there. Little ping pong action right above the net. Parker, number 2 on the team in kills, but a pretty strong server as well. Dike with the quick point.
Nice swing by Bailey Peterson, hit the middle of the court as those 2 defenders on Union's back court are splitting the court, so it leaves the middle open.
16 kills for Peterson. Bailey Peterson with 16 kills, 13 kills for number 14, Madison Levenge. Union with the point. Now leading by 4 and needing just 6 more points to win the 4th set and get this to the 5th. Bars was the player that helped Union go on that big run. They were down 21-18 late in the 3rd set when Bars went back to serve. Right down the line. The line has been kind to Megan Hudson. 18 big kills and a 5-point lead.
One of the reasons the line has been kind is she's bigger and reaches higher than the block.
Here is the Dike-New Hartford huddle as they trail by 5.
Okay, you got to see she's in the middle of the court, so we got to see where she's at, okay? So if we're rolling, we got to roll away from them, but we're not going to, we're going to be aggressive, okay? The middle is hurting us because we don't have the block set right. They're coming in, here's our left. Our left is supposed to be here, our middle is supposed to be here, okay? We got to set the block better, all right? Come on, you guys, let's go, let's go.
I agree completely on that, setting the block. So we've seen Union's middles keep hitting towards that left back corner. And so what Coach Harms is saying is the block is too far in. They should be a little bit farther out, and then they'd be blocking that ball.
Dike-New Hartford, 47 wins, 5 losses, 2nd place in the NICL East Conference to Union. Union 40-4. 8-0 in league play, defeated Dike-New Hartford in 5 sets. Dike looked dominant in the first 2 sets, winning 18-25, 11-25. But the tide is turned, and Union winning the 3rd set and leading here in the 4th, 20-16. There's the side out for Dike-New Hartford, and Madison Hedges, the junior setter, to serve. 17 aces on the season. Doesn't need an ace, but an aggressive serve would help her team here. Setter dump.
That's interesting. I didn't really see the ball moving that much. Her feet weren't to the ball, that's for sure, but her hands, I probably wouldn't have made that call. However, I'm not an official.
So the call was an illegal lift.
Yeah,
two
two contacts.
Said it was not a clean set. That's a clean kill. 17 kills for Bailey Peterson. And now she has a chance to serve. Trailing by 4 here in the 4th. Good up. Union gets set defensively. But Dike-New Hartford with the kill. Still a long way to go before we get to that 25-point mark, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And depending on which side you're on, may feel a little longer.
Service air right into the net. 3-point and a side out. Hudson, we talked about how dominant she's been with her 18 kills. Now she's serving. Battle at the net. Off the slide, it's in! That's the freshman, Jasmine Bush. Was a nice role player this year, helped the team get to state, but she's had a nice performance now with 6 kills. Dike-New Hartford to the outside. Union gets blocked, and the Wolverines with the point.
Oh, so what was called there was kind of a surprise. She called 4 contacts that the ball didn't hit the hands of the blocker.
Critical juncture as Union leads, and needing just 2 more points to force this to a 5th and final set. Needing that one was Dike. Ricker makes this a 3-point set. Timeout. Let's listen inside the Union huddle.
All right, what do we got hitting here?
Rand's gonna hit a 6, Peyton's gonna hit a 3, and Jazz is hitting a 1.
Jazz is hitting the back
Do you
one.
want to spread? No, she's hitting a front one. Do you want to spread it out more?
Yeah, we better spread it out a little more.
Okay, Peyton, go over at 5.
At 5? Or we want to bring her for a 1 or for something in the middle?
Have her on a 4.
Or you want to keep her outside?
Or are you passing right now? I think.
Keep her outside. Keep Peyton outside here. You want to keep Peyton outside on this one?
Keep Peyton outside and don't run her quick. Don't run her on a 5.
What's that?
How about you?
Bring
How about you go? How about you go one and one?
What's that? Jazz outside, all right?
Hey, Jazz, let's go.
Let's bring Peyton middle once. Let's go. If we don't get it, then we'll switch it again.
Well, and that's one of the things that we talked about before is they don't have any problem with their players hitting all along the net, and so that gives them quite a bit of variety and flexibility.
I like a coach that takes input from his seniors, 6 of them that have been to the state tournament.
And his brother.
So let's see how this unfolds here. If you're just joining us, Dike-New Hartford wins the first 2 sets. Union wins the 3rd. You have to win 3 sets to win a championship. It's a must-win situation for Union. They lead 23-20, played at 25, win by 2. A lift, and we got ourselves a 2-point ball game.
Well, Sierra Nolan set that ball, and it was kind of a quick reaction. She knew immediately that she was going to get called for. She just started walking back to her spot.
Strong serve, nice pass, blocked. And the Wolverines are hitting on all cylinders, rattling off the last couple points here. 4-0 run for Dike-New Hartford. Backs pressed against the wall. They don't want this to go 5. Sydney Peterson has been serving nails over the net. Beautiful up. Levens. Another point. We're tied. 23-23 in the 4th. And the second and final timeout called by Union. Here's what Diane Harms in her 14th season at Dike has to say inside their huddle.
You might have to get into the 21 zone, okay? So be aggressive. Get outside, deep corner. Over the outside block, deep corners where we want to be going. you're transitioning either corner. Don't over-rotate. Stay open and go. Okay? Center is down, so stay down. Don't overreach for it, okay? Now, the right side's been hurting us. We're floating. Make sure we're getting there and close that, all right? Here we go.
Two of the top programs in the state of Iowa going toe-to-toe here for the 3A title.
I think one of the most important things she said in that is Cedar is down. She's back row. If the pass is tight, do not jump with her.
This Dike-New Hartford team has beaten Cedar Falls twice, the 5A runner-up, Janesville, Union, West Des Moines Valley. There's another point. And that brings up match point. 6-0 run for Dike-New Hartford. 1 point away from a championship here in Class 3A. Union and System getting the swing they want, and this is going overtime.
It's a little disappointing. Dike had a great pass, a great set, and the hitter wasn't ready. So, you know, everybody's on the edge of their seats, and then they send a free ball over to Union.
Union stops the run. But
nice
a quick point
play
to the back row, and aggressive is the key word there.
And that's basically what you need to do in a situation like that. The player behind needs to take control because she can see what's happening. The player in front can't see, so she just has to have faith that she gets called off and it's going to work out.
Match point again for Dike-New Hartford. Into the net. She tossed it up, and you can see a little bobble with it. Now again, she has not played hardly at all. That's Eden, just played 10 sets prior to the state tournament. 25-25, new life, new opportunity here for LaPorte City Union. Haley Brown. It's in! If it would have been an inch or two deeper, it would have been out.
Well, and when you hit kind of a high, lofty, arcing ball like that, it kind of confuses the defense into thinking it's going long.
Match point for the third time for Dike-New Hartford here in the fourth. Block, point. Dike-New Hartford is your Class 3A champion, knocking off #1 Union and getting revenge for an early season conference loss. This is how it unfolded. Dike had to go on a big run to get to this point, but it ends with a block, quickly followed by instant celebration. The 2A champion last year is now the 3A champion this year. And Dike-New Hartford and Diane Harms, another state championship. Her 5th, leading Dike-New Hartford, 522 victories. And a great job of willing this team against an outstanding LaPorte City Union squad as well.
Coach Harms just said, I love pink.
Well,
who wouldn't after a match like that?
We're getting set to hand out the hardware, the runner-up championship trophy, and we'll also find out who is on the Class 3A all-tournament team.
Presenting the 3A awards are the members of the Girls Athletic Union Board of Directors, Roger Francis, Dave Wilkerson, Gary Zittergruden, and Jim Bulmer. Presenting the 2016 Class 3A All-Tournament team is John Sambuthy, Regional Manager for the Iowa Farm Bureau. Your 2016 Class 3A All-Tournament team. From Dike-New Hartford, Madison Levens. From Union, Peyton Parker. From Mount Vernon, Libby Ryan. From Kemper Catholic, Abby Lorman. From Dike-New Hartford, Sydney Peterson. From Union, Megan Hudson. And your 3A captain from Dike-New Hartford, Bailey Peterson.
There's a look at your Class 3A all-tournament team. 3 players from Dike-New Hartford, a couple of players for LaPorte City Union. Also, Carroll Kemper Catholic. Barb, just an outstanding 3A match, as for the 3rd straight time, #1 has fallen in this championship.
Yeah, kind of a surprise in one way, and in one way not.
As we're awaiting handing out the championship and team runner-up trophies.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Class 3A state volleyball runner-up. From Union, the Knights, and head coach Brian Jesse.
An incredible season, 6 senior starters, 6th trip to state in the last 7 years, 40 wins, 5 losses, winning the toughest conference in all
And now your
of volleyball in the state of Iowa.
3A state champions, Coach Diane Harms and the Wolverines from Dike-New Hartford.
Dike-New Hartford now joining Mount Vernon as the only school to win a state volleyball title in 3 different classes. They take care of Class 3A here in 2016. Final scores: 25-18, 25-11. Union won the 3rd, 25-23. And Dike-New Hartford winning the 4th, 27-25. Hopefully you're enjoying our coverage here from Cedar Rapids in the high school volleyball championships. Still a lot more fun heading your way as we have 2A next, followed by the 1A championship match. Back with all the exciting action as Waterloo Columbus Catholic takes on Western Christian in the Wolfpack right after this.
Funding for the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union, Iowa Farm Bureau Girls State Volleyball Championships is provided by...
The path to greatness starts early. The Iowa Farm Bureau believes in Iowa's youth and their pursuit of greatness. That's why we're proud to be the title sponsor of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union. Each student's effort is important, and when one rises, we all rise to a better Iowa.
Fairway, along with Nabisco, TrueMoo, Frito-Lay, and Sara Lee, is a proud sponsor of the 2016 Iowa Girls High School Sports Championships. We congratulate all the schools and student athletes participating in this year's Girls High School State Volleyball Championships. Fairway, proud to care for the places we work and live.
By Musco Lighting, the sports lighting specialist, providing lighting systems for you, your project, and your community.
Mid-American Energy and their Energy Advantage programs are dedicated to increasing the awareness of energy efficiency in Iowa's homes and businesses. Information is at midamericanenergy.com. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.